Plainfield, Wisconsin. That's where serial killer Edward Theodore Gein, better known as Ed Gein, grew up. Around 1915, he moved his family farm to Plainfield, and he rarely ever left the farm. The only exception is when he left for school. He was a handyman and worked on road crews in the surrounding areas. Gein endured a difficult childhood. His father was an alcoholic and his mother was verbally abusive toward him. Gein nevertheless idolized her, a fact that apparently concerned his elder brother Henry, who occasionally confronted her in Gein's presence. Gein's mother taught him that women were the vessel of sin and they were evil. Ed became the butcher of Plainfield. His behavior inspired numerous books and movies, notably 3 of the most influential horror/thriller films ever made. Number 1, Psycho, made in 1960 and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Number 2, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974.
Hello!
And number 3, The Silence of the Lambs in 1991.
Charges, I promise. See, my mom is a real important woman. I guess you already know that.
Now he places the lotion in the basket.
Please. Please. I want to go home, please.
In 1944, Henry died in mysterious circumstances during a fire near the family's farm in Plainfield. Although Gein reported his brother missing to the police, he was able to lead them directly to the burned body when they arrived. This led to suspicion that Henry was his first murder. Despite bruises discovered on the victim's head, the death was ruled an accident. Then on December 29, 1945, Gein's mother died due to a stroke, and that left him with severe loneliness. He felt that he lost his only friend and his one person that he loved. In later years, Gein cut off the areas of the house that his mother had used most frequently, preserving them as something of a shrine. Shortly after, he began to read death cult magazines, especially about cannibalism. On December 8, 1954, Gein killed Mary Hogan, a 51-year-old woman who was the owner of the local tavern. He shot her in the head with his .32 caliber revolver. He put her body in his pickup truck and took her back to his shed. Gein was never tried for the murder of Mary Hogan, even though he admitted to the crime in court. Gein finally attracted the attention of the police in 1957 when a hardware store owner named Bernice Warden went missing. Gein had been seen with her shortly after her disappearance, and when law enforcement officials visited his farm, they found her body. She had been fatally shot and decapitated. He had been arrested for the murder and was taken in for interrogation. In 2019, tapes were found about the interrogation.
Well, what parts would you take, Paul? The head and the sexual organ.
Yeah, but
What would you do with the sexual part?
that was in.
One was painted, they said.
Oh, that one, when they died, I just put the thing over it. Is there anything like,
So there's a bunch of photographers from the newspapers want to take a picture. You want to take a picture?
No, that's not yet. So we get to straighten them off.
Would you enjoy it while you were doing it?
What's the worst part of it? I mean, they didn't then. I knew better in life, restless.
When you dig these graves up, you were kind of in a haze, too, is that it?
That's what I could do, just how you look at it.
And then one time you said you were trying to realize what you were doing, and you covered her up without taking anything.
That's right.
Then what would you do with the head?
That must have been taken from reading about these magazines and everything. Taking the flesh off like a headhunter.
And when Ed's home was examined, it appeared he had systematically robbed graves and collected body parts of females. He used these to make household items, clothing, and masks. Investigators found Mary Hogan's face on one of his skull caps. Those around Eddie weren't the only ones who, even if they had been paying attention, would be inclined to write things off as simply Ed Gein being Ed Gein. Local teenagers said that Eddie had shown them shrunken heads. Eddie claimed the heads were sent to him by a cousin who had served in the Philippines during the war. Rumors intensified after boys who had been in the Gein house recounted seeing heads, not shrunken, but hanging in a room. The boys just convinced themselves that they had seen Halloween masks. In Gein's house, he had made utensils and bowls out of bones and skulls. He used the human skin for furniture, a woman's lips were used for a curtain pole, and faces were used for lampshades. All of this was preferably used from women since he was taught they were evil. In 1958, Gein's House of Horrors was destroyed by fire and the origins remain unclear. Ed Gein remained in a mental hospital until he died on July 26, 1984 in Madison, Wisconsin, United States. The Butcher of Plainfield was officially out of sight and Ed Gein was wiped off the face of Earth.